The conflict in Syria goes waterborne. For the first time, rebel gunmen in dinghies attack a military unit on the Mediterranean coast. 4 foreigners have been arrested in Sudan, accused of spying for South Sudan. Juba denies the allegations, while the United Nations confirmed one of those taken is working for the UN. And police in Kuala Lumpur fire tear gas at thousands of demonstrators calling for electoral reform. Those are the headlines. Thanks for joining us here in the France 24 newsroom in Paris. I'm Helen Percival. For the first time since the conflict in Syria began more than a year ago, rebels have carried out their first assault on water. Gunmen attacked ships belonging to the regime, causing deaths on both sides. Meanwhile, Lebanon says its navy has seized weapons destined for the Syrian rebels, carried in ships reportedly from Libya. Saudi Arabia's recalled its ambassador to Cairo after nearly 1,000 people protested at the Saudi embassy. They were demonstrating against the arrest of an Egyptian lawyer, Ahmed El-Ghazawi, who was sentenced to a year in jail for insulting King Abdullah. The conflict between Sudan and South Sudan has taken a new turn on Saturday. Khartoum arrested 4 foreigners from the UK, Norway, South Africa and South Sudan and accused them of spying for South Sudan. Juba says it will withdraw troops from the disputed Abyei region, but as France 24's James Andre explains, they'll only do this if conditions are met. To Kuala Lumpur now, where at least 30,000 protesters took to the streets on Saturday demanding electoral reform. With elections expected in June, the ruling National Front, in power for more than 50 years, is accused of having too much control over how elections take place. France's socialist presidential frontrunner François Hollande received a confidence boost on Saturday following Germany's call to pursue growth over austerity, a key proposal of his own campaign. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has been a supporter of Sarkozy for some time, but her alliances may have to change. Our correspondent Jessica Saltz has more. Well, finally, with just a week to go before the final vote, François Hollande and Nicolas Sarkozy need to gain the trust of the French electorate who voted for the other candidates in the first round, including those of centrist François Bayrou. Well, that's all for this bulletin. Thank you very much for joining us.